Hello. Hello, everybody. This is a Sunday night, but you'll probably get this Monday, and you all will see it, and I'll let everybody know and see what you think. So, I'm going to be talking today about some stuff that happened. Stuff happens in my life, on social media or whatever, and then it just sort of gives me sometimes some talking points to want to talk to people about some stuff that I want to talk about, and stuff. But today, something happened. Ooh, excuse me. Well, it's been a long day. I've been up since 5 a.m. and was at Mount Baker all day, but today something happened, and it happened maybe yesterday was when I saw it about to happen, and stuff. How you see stuff and be like, ooh, this is not gonna end good. And so yesterday, I followed Don Lemon of CNN for a while, and so yesterday he reblogged an article about him, you know, making a comparison or talking about something Bill O'Reilly said and how it didn't go far enough, and how black people needed to pull up their pants and speak correct English and blah 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 to be able to be accepted in the white world, or in this country we wouldn't have any problems if folks just acted right and stuff. And so as I read it, it was somebody else's article, and they wrote it about him, and he reblogged it, and I thought to myself, ooh, this is not going to end good for him. Okay. I knew that. And but I also thought it was odd that he reblogged the article, because it's sort of this thing of making controversy, because the article was an article that such nobody would have known about it unless he reblogged it, and stuff. It was in some obscure web thing, and stuff. And people probably wouldn't have known about it unless he reblogged it. So, people do stuff for a strategic reason. So that's one of the reasons I'm not crying too many tears for Don Lemon. What happened to him afterward. So what happened to him afterward was that Black Twitter just ripped him a new one. Okay, I could feel sort of bad for him, but he kind of asked for it, and stuff. And sometimes you do, and you get exactly what you ask for. You can't be upset if you're a public figure and then you decide to say something really public and super controversial and something kind of stupid, and then people come back and say something or criticize you for saying it and stuff. You can't be all, I'm hurt and my feelings is all hurt. So today he was on there doing the back pedal and all this sort of stuff he was gonna do and stuff. So I'm gonna make a comment about his comments too, doing the back pedal and all this stuff, because I think he thought that he had exposed Twitter about a week ago, which nobody, black people on Twitter, wasn't real happy about and stuff, and not that I'm part of some black Twitter, as I don't like clubs and I don't like joining and stuff, but he had exposed that part of Twitter about a week ago, and folks was kind of pissed, and I was like, yeah, well, now they're gonna come and get it. So this week, when he did that, we did think he did. And then he comes back and he backpedals and he says he tried to explain. And then he says, how this was just something his mom taught him when he was young. And then he goes on and on and on and on about, all this stuff he had done and all this stuff and how he had struggled and blah, blah, blah. And I just kept thinking, well, what does he want? Does he want a cookie for, like, doing what most people are doing, every day? Does he really want a cookie? Because I'm not giving out cookies and stuff, just for doing stuff. So it seemed to be some sort of, people were against me and all this stuff. And I just don't really know what's wrong with you all. If you would just act right, and that's it. If you would just act right, then everything would be okay for black people, which is a horrible misnomer, as you know. And I've said in another blog, there is just no amount of act right that black people can do and not, you know, still be seen by many white people, it's just black people, and still not be victims of racism and stuff. And this is not something I'm just saying because I'm just pulling it out of the sky. I'm saying this because this has happened to me, and stuff. I act right and do the right thing because it's just the right thing to do. It wasn't really a thing that I was doing to be accepted by white people. But I was quite surprised, when I did the right thing. And then, still got, still got called out, still got, still got attacked, still, still got called the N word without actually being called the N word, but by people's actions, still had that happen to me, and stuff. And yeah, even though you're doing the right thing, trying to be a good person, just for you, yeah, it's like for real, and stuff. Yeah, it's hard to believe. And my mom and I were having a conversation about it yesterday, and she was just saying, she said, remember when I told you when you were young, she said there were going to be a bunch of white people who would never let you forget that you were black and stuff. And I was like, yeah. I said, the tragic part is I wanted to hope of all hopes that that wouldn't be true, but unfortunately, mom was right. Okay. And so Don Lemon goes on and he talks about it. And then I started talking about just making some comments about, really for black people, essentially what Don Lemon was doing is the same thing I've been saying that a bunch of black people have been doing for a long time. They have now become codependent on white racism. They are now so codependent on white racism that they think that, well, if I can just use this platform to somehow admonish black people and tell them, you know what, if y'all don't act right, it's just making stuff hard for me and stuff, then they should act right. Well, the unfortunate part of this is that no, I can't make choices for other people. There's a lot of stuff I see in the black community that I don't like, don't make me happy, okay? Not just some of the little nitpicking stuff he was talking about and stuff. There is a bunch of stuff that I see that don't make me happy. But as another Twitter associate and I were talking about it, and she said, and this is true, black people are sentient beings. They're their own people. Okay, and I can't make choices for them. And even in the United States is supposed to be freedom of all free. That means you are free to do whatever it is that you want to do. And the fact of the matter is, more than me trying to force black people into doing something I need for them to do, what really needs to happen is that white racists need to stop judging me and people making my destiny and making the purpose of my life and making decisions about me because of what somebody else does or because how somebody else dresses or talks or whatever, which ain't got nothing to do with me. I could and I'm still at the point of thinking black people could act as right as they want to, be right forever and ever, and it still wouldn't matter to a bunch of people. So I'm making this and saying this kind of argument, and I'm saying this, and me and the other person are kind of blogging back and forth, and she's talking and I'm talking, and we're just making comments about stuff, and then out pops the boundary buster, and stuff. And I kind of call that, maybe what Don Lemon is, kind of a boundary buster, a controller, a person who wants to control people. Listen, people, I'm going to tell you the truth. There's the truth of the matter. Grown people don't like to be controlled. They don't like it. They usually fight against it, especially here in the United States. They just fight against it, and stuff. People don't like to be controlled. That's one of the reasons people leave home, is so they don't have to be controlled by other people, and stuff, and can make their own decisions. So I'm talking, and I'm just not really talking to anybody. I'm just tweeting, and I'm saying some stuff I'm saying, and then the boundary buster busts in and says, "Oh, I just can't believe you said that, that you just think black people should just stay the same because white racism is this." Well, no, that's not what I said. And that's, exactly what I told her. No, that's not what I said. Oh, I understand what you said. I was like, no, obviously you don't understand what I said because that's not what I said. I didn't say anywhere in there that black people shouldn't try to be more respectable or try to clean up their own house, because that's one of the things I put in. Everybody needs to clean up their own house. White people need to clean up their own house. Black people need to clean up their own house. And, stop being in other people's houses telling them what to do. But the point is, I can't make everybody do what I want them to do, and stuff. As much as I would like to make people live the way I want them to live, it's unfair because I can't. I don't want people to make me live the way they want me to live, and stuff. And that's the difference between me, a person who respects people's boundaries, and boundary busters who think they just so smart and they know so much and all this stuff, and they need to tell you how to live and what to do and all this sort of stuff. Hey, it's lots of stuff folks do. I'm telling you, it's lots of stuff folks do that I don't like. It's like stuff folks say, I roll in my eyes. But you know what? I'm not going to fight with everybody on the internet. I'm not going to get into no big, long discussions about people. I'm not doing the debate thing, which personally I don't even think is debating. People just want to be right and try to make you look bad. And of course, they put it under the guise of debating and stuff. As soon as I hear somebody say something about debating, I'm just like, yeah, whatever, get on. Because, yeah, I like to debate. Oh, yeah, I know what that means, okay, and stuff. And as soon as I figure out you're a person that doesn't respect people's boundaries, then all discussion with you will cease and desist. Now, I was pretty much done, with that conversation. She was saying something about, and I was like, oh, well, girl, bye. That's all like, girl, bye. I don't pay much attention to silly people and all this stuff. I wasn't talking to you. I wasn't talking about you. There really was no reason for you to just sort of rudely interject yourself into a conversation and then, be sort of dismissive and just rude, and stuff. um I didn't ask you to do that. And well, once you do it, then that's when you figure out I have boundaries. But of course, as I've told you all many, many times here, I've got really definite boundaries, and I use those boundaries liberally. Okay, as soon as I figure out you're a boundary buster, or you're a person that's trying to subtly control people, or you're a person that's trying to be passive aggressive, then my boundary goes down. And once you cross over it, then you feel the consequence. So the consequence there was she was dismissed. She was gone. Bye. I'm not even concerned about what you got going on and stuff, whatever else she said. Well, I can't believe you did that. That's just, I hope that works for your life. And I'm thinking, I'm 41. It's worked really well. I don't just knock down, I don't just put down boundaries for people I disagree with. I got lots of people I disagree with and stuff. But if you respect me, I respect you. If you don't respect my boundaries, then we'll be done. And that'll be it. It wasn't that people didn't agree with me. It was just people just decided to sort of interject themselves, you know, with their narcissism into a conversation that I wasn't even talking to them about, and then be dismissive and rude about it, which is no, 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 no. That's not going to work. Listen, I know a lot of people got a lot of problems in the black community. There's just some stuff, and I'm telling Don, just this an aside for anybody with Don, there's just lots of stuff that I don't know about. Okay, there's lots of stuff I don't speak on. Lots of stuff I told you before I don't speak on this blog because I don't know about it, and to speak on it would to me be disrespectful, would be arrogant, would be condescending, and stuff. And so the whole sort of atmosphere of whatever Don Lemon said, because he could have actually said something and had a great conversation out of this, but instead he reduced it to some crap. To some crap of, well, black people just act right, which I keep saying black folks been acting, fine. People, I mean, we was acting right, way back in the day when folks was lynching people. People was acting right, like what does acting right mean? It don't mean nothing. The fact that many black people today have to face racism and they're still acting right. I mean, your president, for an example, who pretty much, this man is the leader of the free world, a Harvard graduate, and pretty much poster boy for all responsible black men, in the United States. And even he has to face a bunch of racism. And I'm not even talking from nutbags. I'm talking about people he work with, like the Congress and stuff. Like these folks you work with. And you got to face a bunch of racism and hatred and, disrespect to you and your wife, and your kids from them. Really? So all this, like I say, there's lots of stuff I don't like, and that's the truth. But I also know that because people are free beings, I can't control them and I can't make choices for them. What I can say and what needs to be said is that my destiny and my fate and who I am should not be decided because of the person next to me, or the person that live across town, or the person that live next door, or the person that's standing at the grocery store next to me. What does that have to do with me? I can't make everybody act right. And this somehow thing that, well, if all black people just act right, then everything will be okay. We'll all be good. We won't have no more problem with racism. Listen, I'm just tell you what Rosalind Hardy Holcomb said. Racism works because racism is still here because it works for white people. It's been working. And when racism stops working for white people, they'll stop being racist. But as long as it works, okay, they'll keep being racist. And since black people seem to be so codependent upon white people's racism now, it's really working in their favor. We're sitting here admonishing one another, okay, instead of really trying to, if you want to solve some problems, this man has a wonderful platform to bring all sorts of people on to try to solve problems or talk to black people or young people and all this stuff. And instead, he uses it to give some sort of little, dress down of black people as if they're a bunch of damn kids, and stuff, which is ridiculous. I mean, he could have used this platform he had for anything. And personally, my thought is everybody, every time, just because you have a platform doesn't mean you should always use it for stuff. Just because you can say something don't mean that you should. Okay, but that takes some life wisdom to know that sometimes you should just shut up. Okay, and stuff, and listen to somebody instead of trying to tell somebody, something. So now he's getting it all thrown back in his face. Now he's being criticized, and now he's upset. He's saying how he don't want to coddle people. Well, nobody has to coddle him in their criticism of him either. He don't deserve to be coddled. Okay, you take it. You want to dish it out, you got to take it. That's just how it is, And I think his thought was, in saying this sort of dismissive thing about black people, is that somehow a bunch of black people were going to be on his side. And of course, these ghetto folk or these folk that's uneducated or whatever, oh, well, it didn't really matter. But what happened was, here was a bunch of critical thinking, educated, organized, black people that decided to critique what he said, and then just pretty much drag him through the mud on Twitter. It was not pretty, and stuff. But I think he thought that somehow they wouldn't do that, or these people were too stupid to really get what he was saying, or they wouldn't realize, what was going on, and they would just think, oh, this was just a great idea. The point of the matter is, I cannot make a choice for other grown people. Okay? I got my own self respect. I respect myself. I do the very best that I can. I live a life with self respect and dignity. I have very definite boundaries, okay? Because I say this about self respect all the time. Self respect is not worth nothing if you have no boundaries, okay? And the point of the matter is, although Don Lemon seems to have a self respect, he lacks boundaries. And so that's got him in trouble. So, having self respect is great, but I don't respect myself just so, white people can find me nice or think I'm great or do all this sort of stuff. I could care less. I do that for me. My hope is that when I talk to people about stuff, that they do stuff for themselves, not to always garner the favor of other people. Whatever happened to just doing something because you wanted to do it, because it was the right thing to do? What happened to that? You know? And although I can't make everybody do the right thing, you know, I can't force anybody into some sort of mold to make them do what's right for themselves and all that stuff. You can do whatever you like. All I ask is that what people do doesn't infringe on my rights. Now, once it infringes on my rights, then we have a problem. Okay? But people acting a fool don't really infringe on my rights. You know, people judging me because somebody else is acting a fool, now that infringes on my rights. And there's lies the difference. There lies the difference. I am not recommending that black people just, go out in the streets and just act a nut, you know, and stuff. And I don't even know where somebody would even get that sort of conversation. But of course, that's for people that don't really know me, and stuff, and don't know nothing about me. So, they get all kinds of confused ideas. And then they decide they want to come and, try to front me and correct me. Trust me, I'm telling you all, and I'm telling you again, don't do that to me. That won't end well for you. Okay? That just won't end good for you. I'm not that person. I have an opinion on stuff. I'm not arguing with people, and stuff. I can certainly tell people different things, and give people advice and give people suggestions, but I can't make anybody take them. I can't make anybody do them. You know, that's not my job. It's not my job. That's not my job. And I got a lot of time to do a lot of stuff, but I can't run around and be adamantly, disgusted by every little thing. Okay? I got to pick and choose the stuff that I want to take up. Because some stuff and some people I just have to push to the side and ignore, go on about my business, and it works very well. That's a good use of my time. I only have so many hours in a day. I can't be outraged all of them. And this is just sort of a explanation to say, you know, you do what you need to do for yourself and for your own life. You know, you do the very best that you can. I'm doing this blog and I can't make choices for anybody. I can't judge you on that what you do. If you do something that I don't think needs to be in my life, then it won't be. You know, if you decide to step across my boundaries and cross my boundaries and violate boundaries with me, then you'll just be gone. I don't have time to argue with people. I've got to find out. I'm 41. I got to find out amount of time to do stuff. Okay. I'm not spending hours and hours wasting my time on every random idiot that's, mad because I said something. And so what? And I'm not fighting with people. I used to do that. I used to be on blogs, arguing with folks and all that stuff. And then one day I thought, you know what? This is stupid. What a waste of time. I haven't changed their mind. They ain't changed my mind. We both got the same opinions. We both have a right to our opinions. You know, Nothing's changed. Nothing's happened. Except you frustrated from a situation. Man, please find something to do. You know, and stop, black people. Stop being codependent on white people's racism. Let them solve their own problems. You have problems of your own. Take up your own personal stuff. Let them do what they need to do. Because I'm telling you, all the dysfunction that's in the white community, and trust me, there's a lot of dysfunction in it. They are very good at hiding. Okay? I mean, excellent at hiding. You know, and I'm telling you, they don't take up, they don't say nothing. It's some other dysfunctional white people somewhere. They don't get all wringing hands. They don't get scared. They not worried about it. They not trying to, well, let me see what I can do. Or let me lecture them on how they need to do stuff. They don't even care. And for some reason, black people, we have decided to just go along with the codependence and figure, oh, well, racism is really our fault. So we need to do something about it. Why are you fighting for something you don't have nothing to do with? Why are you trying to solve a problem that you didn't even create? Get a hold of yourself, people. Okay? Stop trying to make choices for other people. Tell you the truth, go figure out your own life. I just don't have that kind of time. I can help who wants to be helped. If you want to be helped, I'll help you out. I give you some suggestions. Hey, some little advice. You could take it or you could not take it. If you don't want to be helped, that's fine too. Bye. But I'm also not going to be taking on other people's foolishness or what other folks is doing. I said that a long time ago. I will not be feeling bad. I will not be ducking and dodging if I see some crazy black people out on the street, doing some craziness. It don't have nothing to do with me. I'm not looking, I'm not trying to say, oh my goodness, what the folks, I'm not thinking nothing. White people don't think that. Why should I think that? So, whatever folks is doing, that's their choice. This is America. You had the freedom to do whatever it is you want to do. Like I say, as long as it don't infringe on my rights, we're all good. So, that's my thoughts on, you can't make choices for other people. So you need to remember that, so does Don Lemon. He needs to remember that you can't make choices for other people. So just let it go. Probably would have helped you in this situation too. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.